On All right. Hello and welcome to another episode of Red Sports, and we are here to cover the very very critical match. Two teams, obviously, who are in the top four, and as always, we have three very special guests. I love it's always great to have Joydipda and Veda. I think if you've watched our show, there's a internal rivalry that goes on between these two. Of course, safe to say both of their favorite teams. I'm not sure whether they're going to make it to the playoffs. Again, never say never. So we have obviously Joydipda, Veda,
and we won't talk about history. Just current affairs.
Oh God!
Just current affairs.
Please come up with something new. I'm fed up of the same things.
Just current affairs.
You can do better. You can really do better. Come up with new things, please.
So can RCB. So can RCB. So can KKR. They can do better.
Anyways, welcome to the show, and of course, Devashish, welcome. I mean, I'm presuming there's a lot of love for KKR. I mean, I'm presuming you were backing that team right from. But
yeah, he's also got his. He's also got his 37th cap for the pre-show.
Devashish, if fair to say it was KKR that you were backing, or that you're still probably backing KKR?
I will always by heart. KKR.
By heart.
KKR.
Right.
It's not KKR, it is KKR.
That's a good one. Oh, God. All right, let's get to the game for tonight. Two teams in the top four right now, looking very good. Joydipda, I'm going to start with you because I remember, and obviously Veda, Devashish were all there during the auction. I think safe to say SRH was one of those teams, apart from perhaps Mumbai Indians, where we felt that the auction probably wasn't their strongest suit. But clearly, would you agree that they've managed to surprise everyone? Just the way their bowlers or the whole team, the way they've kind of come through?
I lost you there for a bit with the internet, but I suppose you asked me about Sunrisers Hyderabad, how the team is shaped up. So
yes, post the auctions,
it looked like a very cut-to-cut team, and also it looked like they were banking on 4-5 players. But the good thing that has happened is that even players like Rahul Tripathi, who are not huge names in the IPL, they've taken the responsibility and they've become really big players over here. Now, Kane Williamson, with all due respect to him, and I say this with utmost humility, is not a gun T20 player. He's a gun test match and 50-over player. In the T20 version, he needs help to win your games. And that's what the others are doing with him. The bowling attack, the revival of Bhuvaneshwar Kumar as a bowler. Since Rohit Sharma has become captain, I can see Bhuvi sort of coming back to it. It's a lot of confidence for bowlers, especially in this version when you're about to get tonged. Just your captain's arm around your shoulder makes a huge difference. You're not tested because Rohit and Bhuvi go back a long way. Bhuvi has won India a lot of games bowling up front, bowling at the back end. So I just felt that Bhuvi is on the comeback trail. He's on the right trail back to where he belongs. Malik has come to a different level now. The batting is coming through. The players that they banked on, it didn't look like a big team on paper, but whoever they banked on have all hit off. But I'm still saying there's a lot of this tournament to go. I know one plays two now, but when the business end comes, this could well change. There's a lot of cricket to be played.
Fair enough. Veda, your thoughts on the Gujarat? Obviously, it's a new franchise. They've obviously done very well, but would you say it's still very, very dependent on someone like an Hardik? Or are you happy with the balance of the side?
No, I kind of like how Gujarat is shaped up, the kind of match winners they have. Contrast to SRH, where Kane is not a T20 player and those kind of things, but Gujarat have got their T20 players sorted, like with Hardik Pandya, Rashid Khan, and Shubman Gill. We know how dangerous he can be when he gets going. He's one of those players who's playing Test cricket regularly for India, but he's more of a white ball cricketer. Like when he came out of under-19 ranks, he was someone who could hit the ball at his own will. Like he was rated more than Prithvi Shaw. Because of the technique and the temperament he had and the way he played his under-19 game. I remember we were also playing the World Cup in 2017 and the NCA trainers and the physios had traveled with the under-19 team. So we were kind of in touch and, we used to speak, and that's when I got to know about Shubman Gill because he thought I was 3 different players because of the game. So, yeah, it's a quite funny story that way, but... But yeah,
let's hear that.
Please, The audience needs to hear this funny story. What's the
Yes,
backstory
yes,
there?
yes. Please, Veda.
So, like I think in the semifinals or the finals, I can't remember exactly, but they were sitting and watching the game together. And Yogi was the physio. He's with the Indian team now, and he knew all about all the women cricketers because of the camps we've done in NCA. And he's like, "Abhi kaun hai batting ke liye? Like we're already 4 down or something." And he's like, "Abhi Veda Krishnamurti hai." So he's like, "Veda Krishnamurti और 3 लोग हैं क्या?" So it's like, no, it's just one
Nice.
player with such a big name.
Awesome. That's the
Well,
impact of Veda Krishnamurti. Team player.
that was quite funny when I got to know about it. So yeah, that's how I know Shubman even before they won that World Cup with New Zealand. So I kind of like, okay, need to know who this guy is, and I kind of did bit of a research. I've never heard someone come up with that.
He's right. Veda, Krishna, Murthy. 3 players. Simple.
In fact, Joydipta, I see that. Joy, Deep, Mukherjee. I can do that.
Absolutely. When I'm
So,
with Deep
yeah.
Dasgupta, I say if you want to meet only Deep itself, you want to meet Joy along with Deep, it's me. Decide who you want to be with.
So yeah,
Yes,
they did well with their retention. I think when Rashid was not being retained by SRH, anybody would have gone for him. He would have been big money in the auction with the kind of I always feel like if the batter can score you 100 runs, but that won't happen every day. But the bowler can give you 4 overs every game, and how crucial are those 24 balls what he bowls? So that was something I felt that they did really well to get the services of him, and I kind of like. Obviously Abhinav is my one of my favorite players now in the
buddy talk.
So they got him
Buddy
as
talk.
well. Yeah, so
This is buddy talk going on now.
And plus, not to forget the combination of Shami and Lockie Ferguson. I think they've been amazing. Pace, brutal pace, and we've seen this IPL.
Veda, just on that, while you were with Shubman, first time he came to KKR Nets after getting picked in the IPL in 2018 in Jadavpur. In the Salt Lake campus, you must have been here, Veda, at the other campus. And all the great bowlers of KKR were there. He walked into nets, so he was an opener. So the coach said, "Okay, you pad up," and he walked into the nets. So an under-19 cricketer coming and playing the best fast bowlers, spinners, Sunil, everybody, and he didn't defend one ball from the fast bowlers. Everything was a punch. And we were all aghast. And all the players were saying, people like Yunus Pathan, all these guys, who is this guy? How good is this guy? Because it's not easy to make the transition from under-19 level suddenly to IPL, international cricketers, and he's just top. I say, yeah, he can't say ladka. So I just want to add to what Veda said there.
I agree. I mean, if I remember, even Virat had made a statement after he saw Shubman. Is like, I was not half of what he was in his age. So obviously, coming from him and the kind of talent and skill he has is amazing. So I was talking about the pace battery. I think this IPL especially has been for the pacers who bowl 140 plus regularly. I think they've been the game changers for their teams, the ones who bowl well. So I think I like the combination of Shami and Ferguson, and even when Hardik bowls, it's nice to watch him bowl. He hasn't been bowling in a few games, but when he does, he looks good. So it's a good squad.
Nice. It's a happy with the balanced squad, and I want to touch on that bowling. So Debashish, your view, right? I mean, obviously Lockie, Shami, great combination there, obviously of Rashid. But you suddenly look at the 4 pacers and you look at the stats. The SRH team, I believe they have one of the most economical squad out there below. I think 7.99 or economy. Their average is about 20, less than 21, let's say. In that portrait, like who's sort of impressed you the most, right? You have Marco, you have Umran Space, you have. Yes, what's your take on the SRH?
You have to go with Umran Malik. The sheer pace that he has garnered in this IPL so far, and along with Lockie Ferguson, they are the 2 fastest in this edition. And the good thing about Sunrisers is that all the fast bowlers have been amongst wickets. It's not that just they have been economical, but they have been amongst wicket as well. You see Natarajan, he has been a revelation. Means he was injured, was out of the Indian team, but he has come back with a bang, means with those 15 wickets, and then Umran Malik and Bhubi also coming good. So suddenly the Sunrisers team is looking the team to beat, and also with Washington coming back after injury in this match, so that will add more sort of variation to this bowling, and that will look more potent. I would put it this way. So I think that has been their strength. I think that has been their strength, and ever since Bhubi and Natarajan started clicking, suddenly that Sunrisers team looking more stronger unit. Prantik.
Fair enough. And Veda, I want to get your thought. You obviously mentioned about your good friend, Abhinav, and Joydipta mentioned about Rahul. When you look at this young pool, and obviously you have the Yash Dayals and you have Kuldeep Sen who's done well. There's so many youngsters who've done so well. This batters, bowlers from this pool, and not just necessarily today's pool. Not just SRH and GT. What do some of these guys need to do to kind of get a break in the international squad? Or do you think some of these names, like let's say Rahul Tripathi, he's been around for a while. What does someone like him need to do, or an Abhinav Manohar, budding star, to kind of make that break into the international squad? Is that even a possibility?
Well, nothing is impossible. I'd like to say that he's been doing amazingly well. But if you look at the batting order, like if you look at the guys who've been competing for that top five position, I think it's very tight neck there. And the ones where you actually see an opening is someone who could finish the innings, probably them. And fast bowlers, obviously, Indian team from the last 2 years, if you see, they've been looking at a lot of fast bowlers because of this rotation policy, and they want to keep a lot of guys fresh. So I feel with the test match and the way things are going, I think fast bowlers and the finishers are where they're concentrating as of now. But if someone does really well and gets a lot of runs, I think they put their name in the reckoning. Not to forget that form is something which is very very important. We've seen that a lot of big players are not getting runs, but it is very hard to replace them or something like that because of the reputation and because of the things they've done. You can't just judge with one tournament. But like I said, I think to be honest, the way they're looking at would be someone who can bat at 5, 7, and tong sixes, maybe a fast bowling all rounder. And fast bowlers is where they will carry them for sure. Even if they're not there in the team, they will probably travel with the team as net bowlers. So that is where I think they will have their big break, how they go about in the net sessions.
Jaydeep, I'm going to put you in a spot there. One batsman, one bowler that you think deserves some sort of a chance. Could be a tournament with maybe a tier two team, or I don't know. But one bowler, one batsman who you think deserves a shot at the international level in the next 18 months.
Yeah, the bowling is easy. I think it's Umran Malik because of what he gets, but I think they're getting him ready. They're getting him ready because he's very special. He's something that you cannot really reproduce. 150 plus is something that you can be at the NCA with all the coaches all your life. You might not get to 150 from 145 because being able to bowl that pace, but they're also treating him with a lot of care. And I was at the NCA doing my level 2, and I was speaking to some resident coaches over there saying that they have a game plan in place for him. There's a roadmap that's ready for him, and they are going to sort of unveil him at some point in time. But they also want to make sure that the diamond is polished really well before it's unveiled to the public, which is international cricket in this case. So Umran Malik is the guy. It's just a matter of time before he comes through. See, with the batters, there have been a couple of them, but I felt the resurgence of Hardik Pandya for me has been the biggest plus point because he's batting at 4. He's batting I know he's already played for India, and he's somebody who everybody knows. Yes, there are the Rahul Tripathis and everybody. I still feel India now has a very nice way of sort of grooming these players. If you do well in domestic cricket, which could be IPL, which could be Ranji Trophy, which could be Vijay Hazare, Mushtaq Ali, then you make it to India A, you go through that grind and through that filter, and then you come through and play for India. Yeah, there are some who haven't done that. Venkatesh Iyer, straight from IPL, came and played because he's an all-rounder, because we are short of all-rounders, because Hardik was injured. But if he was a batter, he probably wouldn't have played for India. He would have had to go and join that line of maybe 10 or 12 that's already there in the fast bowling and the batters department. Because he's a fast bowler, a batter who bowls medium pace, he was fast track because we are short on that front. So for me, it will have to be amongst the batters, all the ones who've done well. But for me, I think Rahul Tripathi, but again, Veda makes a great point. because where he bats, it's full. It's full. No, you know, house full when you go to the cinema hall, and then oh shit, like
it's
that.
like you have your lot. There is a backup to them, and there's a backup to them. That's
Yeah.
how many players are there in that for that position.
That's why I keep harping that playing 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5 is easier than play 6, 7, 8. Which is why people like Surya and Hardik are so crucial for us, because these 1, 2, 3, 4 people cannot play 5, 6, but the 5, 6 people can come and play 2, 3, 4, no problem. You put Surya 3, no problem. He's open for Mumbai, no problem. But to be able to bat at 5, 6, 7, 6, 7,
Yeah.
you know what Riyan Parag did yesterday? Everybody curses him, does nothing. But look, when the time came, he did it. And he will again fail a lot of games, because again he'll get 3 balls, 4 balls, 7 balls. You can't get a 15, 7 balls. So he'll get 19, aise 19 to kiya hai. But when the time came, he delivered. He won them the game yesterday.
Yeah, well said. And and by the way, I think I love Veda's point about this whole backup of a backup, because Joydeep, you've always, for example, spoken about someone like Shikhar. Whether he would even get a chance in the T20s in the again will be very,
Prantik,
very
if the
interesting.
selection happens tomorrow, a lot of things could go awry. But thankfully, we've got a half a tournament to go, and we've got a few months to go after that also. Devashish, correct me if I'm wrong, a good 15 T20s before we play the World Cup?
Absolutely. Starting with the South Africa series at home, 5 T20 internationals.
So 15, 18 matches. If we had to make the team tomorrow, gosh, if I was a national selector, no sleep tonight. No sleep tonight.
Yeah, and Devashish, I want to come to you in terms of the mini battles that you are looking forward to. You obviously always keep a good track of the batsmen, bowlers on each side. Is it Shubman versus a particular bowler? Is it Williamson versus? So what are some of these 2 or 3 mini battles that you're looking forward to tonight?
I am definitely looking forward to that pace battle between Lockie Ferguson and Umran Malik. And obviously, Lockie Ferguson does have an edge because being an international bowler, and also he has clocked the fastest in the IPL so far. So that will be an interesting battle among the two. And also on the fact that Rahul Tripathi has done well against Rashid Khan. Means he is among a few batsmen who has played Rashid Khan well. And so whatever matches he has played so far, and also he has scored 35 runs against him. So, and he played a crucial role the last time the two teams met, because actually negating Rashid Khan will be key for Sunrisers in this tonight's match, because Rashid Khan with those 4 overs, if he can get those breakthroughs, so then things would be all different. So I these are the 2 matchups that I would look for, means Rahul Tripathi versus Rashid Khan.
Right, and that Rashid playing against his old franchise. Whether any particular battle, someone says that someone like, the Bhuvi, Shubman Gill sort of a battle. What's any particular battle that comes to your mind? Veda, questions for you? Okay, maybe Veda probably has. Joydeep, I'll come to you. What's the battle?
Yeah, can I answer that?
Yes, please.
Yeah, so I feel the one that has somebody like Hardik Pandya versus an Umran Malik. How about that one?
That's an interesting one.
Because 2 guys who are making their presence felt, one on a comeback trail, one playing for the first time. And, he has been hit on the helmet by Umran Malik in the previous game, and hit the next ball for 6 and said, wanted to tell him who the boss is. So there's a bit of a needle there. Be good to watch.
All right. Veda, we're just talking about the mini battles. Any particular battle that you're looking forward to tonight? Not sure if Veda can hear us. Maybe there's some sort of an internet issue. But, Devashish, coming back to you in terms of, Wankhede, SRH hasn't necessarily had a very good track record there. Obviously, they've won the last, many games. But, what are you expecting from the pitch, the way you have seen matches in the recent past in Wankhede, the way they have played out? Are you expecting a high-scoring game? Are you expecting some sort of a 160, 165 sort of a game? What's your take on tonight's game?
Yeah, it's a bit dicey, Pranti, because I was just before the show, I was just watching Matthew Hedden's pitch report, and he said that this pitch looks very dry. And in fact, this is a new track that the match is being played. And the good thing about Gujarat is that it was interesting as well, because Gujarat has won the toss and elected to bowl first. Means that has been some sort of change in the template, because the teams have been winning the toss and batting first. So this is some sort of a new thing that we are witnessing. Means a team winning the toss and electing to bowl first, and also they have that firepower in that bowling lineup with the likes of Shami, Ferguson, Aljari Joseph, and the Yas Dayal. You should also keep in mind Yas Dayal. He's been a revelation with his left arm quick. So, and also you have Rashid Khan. So I think they have a good decent bowling lineup, and if they can restrict some Sunrisers to say 150 160 ish. But you never know. Yesterday also Rajasthan scored 144, but they defended well against RCB, and we all know RCB batting lineup. But having said that, I think Gujarat Titans need to bowl first and restrict the Sunrisers Hyderabad team.
Washington
Thank
Sundar also back, which is an important one.
Yes, huge one. He's
Yeah,
back from injury,
absolutely.
has a point to prove, and again, yeah, it will be good to see if if he comes up front, and he could be because obviously he's done well.
He
Of course,
bowls,
barring the injury.
he bowls in the power play. He's one of the spinners who's comfortable bowling in the power play. Not too many spinners are. And you don't want your wrist spinners to bowl in the power play for one simple reason, that power play is more about restriction, not to give runs away. Whereas you want your leg spinners to come and take wickets after 6 overs because they have more protection at the back. So if you have a spinner who can bowl 3 in the power play for 20, he's done his job, even if he doesn't pick up a wicket. But if Rashid bowls 3 overs for 20, you have taken 3 overs from him after 6, where you could have had 5 fielders outside the circle to pick up wickets. So his potency is somewhat diminished.
Very well said. And talking about power play, let's also talk about Natarajan. I mean, he's been taking wickets in the power plays. And Jadita, your take on what has impressed you? The man's come. Obviously, he's had a great start. He's come back.
Let's go
from
to Veda.
injury.
She's come back. She's missed us.
Yes, Veda. Well, yes. Welcome back, Veda. Welcome back. Hopefully, RCB makes a comeback like the way you did. No, we were talking of mini battles. Is there a particular battle that you're looking forward to tonight, Veda?
I'm actually looking at SRH's death bowling versus Tewatia or Hardik in the end, like the last 5 overs, because that's where they've been very, very good. So that is something which I'm keen to watch. I don't have particular players, but it's about death bowling of SRH to Gujarat batters.
Good one, absolutely. That could be a killer. And so, Jadita, just talking about power play, Natarajan, your take on someone like him who's making a comeback post injuries. Obviously, had a stellar series. What's impressed you most about someone like Natarajan and his comeback?
To come back to what he was, because he was struggling in the domestic season. I was there at the Mushtaq Ali. He didn't play every game. I was there at the Vijayas. I didn't play every game. And he was looking, I was talking to the Tamil Nadu coach, the former India off-spinner Venkatramana, and he was saying that he's struggling with his fitness. He played one day, he wouldn't play the next 2 games. And IPL is not an easy gig, because you got to play 14 games and you got to play games every 3rd day, 4th day. So your recovery, it's a high-intensity game, just not the bowling, but the fielding, everything else that you have to do in the field. So it's good that he's recovered physically. But what he can do with the ball in hand, we all know. But when you're physically not up for it, then your skill level, potency goes down, because your body is not backing you up. So your body and your physically, you have to be able to take the load of playing a T20 game. Once that is 100%, then the skills, then it's for you to showcase your skills. And Devashish is right. As we speak, I'm having a look at the wicket, and I haven't seen a more bare wicket in this year's IPL. It's really a lot of wear and tear, slight cracks. So spin, and maybe it's the turnaround we're beginning to see, where the seamers will take a bit of a back seat, and the doublers and the spinners will sort of have the final say.
All right. And Veda, in that sort of context of the pitch and the way some games have panned out we were also talking about Wankhede, where SRH hasn't had a great outing as well. Your take on, I guess, 2 things, right? One is your take on how important a role has toss played, because obviously now we are seeing a change in template. And your take, tonight's game, are you expecting a high scoring, or is it going to be something like last night, 140, 150? What's your take on the outlook given the sort of pitch that we have tonight?
Well, I would still expect the score to be around 160, 170, like little on a higher side, considering Wankhede is comparatively smaller on one side. It just gives that extra bit of an area. Like if a batter can target those smaller boundaries, there's high percentage of chances you might get more runs. Plus, at the same time, Wankhede, like as I remember, it kind of gives a bit for both, for batters and bowlers. Like you need to really play in few balls to know how the wicket is going. And
Great point.
considering how things are going, it is not a bad idea for any of the batters to take a few balls to see how it is going, and then probably launch from there. We know that abilities of all these players, the six hitting abilities is huge. So I think they have to spend a little bit of time on the wicket to see how far they can go.
Very important
Yeah.
point, Veda makes, because it's the red soil, and the red soil gives you enough for the batters and the bowlers. You're always in the game.
Yeah.
Debashish, were you saying something?
I would just like to add one point is that as far as six sitting is concerned, I think the Gujarat Titans are lot many six sitters compared to Sunrisers Hyderabad, and that short boundary might come handy for the Gujarat Titans batter, especially the likes of Hardik, the Rahul Tewatias, the Avinav Manohars, because they can play long handles, so they can that shortest boundary can walk in favor for them as far as six sitting is concerned.
It's interesting you mentioned this because I was reading, I think probably on Cricket for somewhere, that these two teams haven't, despite the sort of capability, haven't hit the most number. In fact,
As
they're probably on the
most, yeah.
on the lower side. And it's
Yeah.
interesting given the sort of firepower that they have. All right, we are pretty much about down to match time, but I want to.
Sixes help, but they don't win you IPLs, or else RCB would have won 7 IPLs by now.
I was expecting some words of wisdom on this topic. And my question,
You have
my
to get
finale.
RCB, in some way.
No, but Veda, I'm going to be fair to you, right? And I'm going to go around the table and ask everyone, how do you kind of see? I know we still have a lot more cricket to go. Do you foresee the top four ending up where we stand tonight with the four teams? Or do you see, and I'm not going to ask you whether it's RCB, KKR, but do you potentially see the top four changing from where we are tonight? I'll start with Veda first.
It's been a very close contest. If you see, apart from Gujarat, everybody's on 10 points, and I don't see that it would be an easy ride. We will have to wait till the last game to see how it pans out. So I feel it's gonna change.
You feel it's going to change. I'll hold you to that. Debashish, are we going to see a change or it's going to be status quo?
I think I would go with only one team that can just change the table somewhat. I think Delhi Capitals can be that team who can make steady strides in the tournament. Obviously, you have the likes of Lucknow Super Giants and Gujarat Titans, who I believe are the firm favorites because they have done really well. You never know with RCB caused performance last night, but I still feel that the three teams for me that still stand firm are Gujarat Titans, Lucknow Super Giants, and Rajasthan Royals. And I think Delhi Capitals could be that team because they haven't done well, but who knows? Means in IPL we have seen over the past that teams who have not done initially well, they bounce back, winning 4 5 matches on a trot and then making it to the playoffs. So I put my money on Delhi Capitals.
So Delhi to potentially replace SRH in your list. Veda, which is that team that's going to, you said it's going to change. Which is that one team that's going to come in and who's going out?
RCB is gonna come fourth. I don't care who's gonna come.
All right. And Joydeep, is it KKR for you? Or do they have hopes to come back to the top four?
No, I feel a lot will change. I cannot say whether it's KKR or RCB, but I think a lot will change. This is only halfway, and a lot
Not
will
meaning
change.
one team or two teams? How
I
lot?
think at least
How much?
at least 2, if not 3.
Wow. Veda does this. And you're saying
You
at
and I
least
agree
two.
for once.
Yeah, finally.
No, but
Finally,
Joydeep,
we agree.
I have to put you on a spot. Which two teams are going to make it? Delhi, Debashish is going for Mr.
The
Puck.
2
Who are
teams
you
that I
backing?
feel will sail in are the 2 new teams. I think
Yeah.
they
Okay.
really hit the stops.
Okay.
Otherwise,
I
it's
agree.
open door. Except Bombay and Chennai, anybody can make it to the last 2.
True.
I
I
love it.
agree
So,
with this also.
you
We were
agree,
waiting.
Bob? Okay. So we are you both are agreeing that Bombay
27th
Chennai
April,
can't make it.
7:29. Veda and I agreed in 5 seconds about 2 things. This is a game-changing time for us.
After 2 months.
After 2 months.
I mean, I wonder what Chennai and Mumbai fans. Clearly, you both have agreed those two can't make it, which makes a lot of statistical sense. But KKR, RCB, Delhi, you guys feel can make it through. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
All right, let's see. Most importantly tonight, where do we land with the score and can SRH beat GT once again? Thank you, Joydeep. Thank you, Veda. Thank you, Debashish. Hopefully
Been a
it's a
pleasure.
good competing. Like just the way you said, Veda, I'm hoping it helps both sides. We want to see good cricket, and I'm really waiting to watch whether at least two teams make it back to the top four. let's enjoy the
Prantik,
game.
your-
And
Prantik,
yes.
your timing is spot on because the countdown has started.
Yeah.
Awesome. Let's enjoy the game. Thank you,
Well
guys.
done. Thank you.
You.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you.